All right, Brandon, dude, how we doing, sir? Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jerome. I'm super pumped to be here today, man. I love your channel. I love all the interviews you do. It's really cool. So I'm
Oh,
really
thank you.
stoked to be here.
Well, I definitely, I was watching your video today, and I think I had like started kind of scanning through it. It's what is it? It's like an hour long. It's like a full on
Hmm.
documentary of the Texas 200 you did, and I think I had kind of skipped forward and was in the middle of like the squalls, and we'll get into it, but that video takes a turn real fast and it gets very exciting. Like the hairs were standing up on my arms when you were describing what
Oh
happened.
wow.
I hate lightning, dude. I hate it. It's the worst. And there's like nothing you can do when you're in that situation. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I have a newfound respect for lightning. I wasn't very respectful of lightning prior to this happening, but yeah, I'm definitely a lot more cautious now.
Yeah, right. No, for sure. Well, and again, it is one of those things where there's just nothing you could do about it. If the storm comes over you and there's bolts coming out of the sky, you just kind of deal with it. And they do
Right.
say, your chances of getting struck are, I don't know, like it's better, you've got a better chance of winning the lottery or something. But I
Yeah, or
mean,
getting attacked by a shark or something. Yeah.
yeah, it's real crazy. But we'll get into that here in a bit. But the Texas 200, dude, thank you for reaching out and sharing this with me. I had no idea about it, and it looks like such a fun event, dude. Like how you've done it 4 times, correct?
Yeah, yeah. This is the fourth one that I've done. And thank you for responding to my call out to you. But yeah, it's the 18th one, so they've been doing it for 18 years now. Gentleman by Chuck Linweber started it. And yeah, it's not really a race. It's just kind of we describe it as a mess about. I
Yeah.
guess kind of like a 5 to 6 day regatta, kind of like a camping regatta
Right.
sort of deal.
Well, and it was kind of interesting because we're trying to plan and put together this thing called the Rust Belt 950, and essentially it's kind of a mix between an offshore race, throughout the entire Great Lakes for boats of a certain size, and then the other component is this like coastal cruising, small boats, canoes, kayaks, whatever they want to use. And the big thing with that is obviously like at night and stuff, they'll be pulling in and then setting up camp, and then you go the next day. And it sounds like that's kind of the mo for the Texas 200. And how many
Hmm.
competitors are in it usually these days?
I think this year there were about 60 to 70 boats.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
nice.
about a little over 100 souls. Um, Man, I think 2 years ago we had like 80 or 90 boats. There were a
Oh
lot of
wow.
people, but yeah, on average, I'd say like anywhere from like 60 to 80 boats.
And have you used the same boat every single time?
I have, yeah, yeah.
And
The
what
19,
is that boat again?
it's a 1964 O'Day Mariner.
Nice,
Yeah,
dude. Just
I love the
classic.
boat. I love the boat, man. I love it.
How long have you had it?
So about 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got it. So try. I'm gonna try to make a long story short. Um, my wife and I got married just before COVID. We bought our house. We got moved into the house and everything, and then COVID happened, and we both started working from home. We got stuck at home. We weren't allowed to go out anywhere, and so I've always been into boating. I grew up boating on lakes, and it. I couldn't get out of the house, and I needed something to do. And since I just got the house, I had a place to keep a boat, so I was actively looking for either a ski boat or a sailboat or something. And I didn't have the funds for a full blown like brand new ski boat, but I looked on Facebook Marketplace and saw that you can get these little 20-foot pocket yacht trailer sailors for like
Yeah.
$1,000,
Right.
you
Right.
know? And so I was like, oh, I could swing that. Like I can make that happen right now. And the O'Day Mariner, it was literally the first boat I saw on Marketplace. It's funny because they say the first boat you see is never going to be the boat that you end up with. And it was the first one I saw, and I fell in love with it. I didn't know anything about Mariners or O'Day, and I
Yeah.
started doing a bunch of research and learning, about all these groups and just how they're known to be like tanks of a boat and super strong. And
They
yeah,
definitely have like a cult following too. They're kind of, I mean,
hmm
a West Sail. You talk to any people that own West Sails, and we're just ecstatic about them. And I'm not the most knowledgeable person when it comes to like their history and all that stuff, but I know every in and out of my West Sail for sure. And I think
right.
the O'Day family is kind of like that too, because I don't know, you take pride and in your vessel, and if you really love it, then you're going to kind of love all the ones that are not exactly like it, but the same
hmm
model, the same make, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and it's cool. There's a Facebook group for it. It's cool to go on there and kind of share things that I've done to the boat, or other people share things that they've done or worked on,
Yeah,
or mods that they've done. And you see things, and you're like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna do something like that to my boat.
yeah. Well, and that honestly was one of the big reasons why I ended up going with the West Sail. With the intention of doing the solo nonstop, because I knew there was such a wealth of knowledge about those boats and about really the problems that they sort of sussed out over the decades. They used to lose the masts all the time, and it was like two or three different issues. And so,
Hmm.
as the knowledge sort of gained up, it kind of makes even though the boat's really old, because Sparrow's 50 now, it's better than it was when it was first produced, because all those improvements have been made.
Right, right, yeah.
Well, she looks really good. What's the name of the boat?
Thunder Road.
Thunder. Ironically enough.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a Bruce Springsteen song.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's I guess the song's kind of like a metaphor for a young couple going down the Thunder Road to life's adventures, and just going for the unexpected, going for it all. And so I just thought, oh, that's perfect for what I'm trying to do
Yeah,
here.
right. No,
And
totally.
yeah, well, one of my favorite movies growing up is this movie called Explorers. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's about these three
Absolutely,
kids.
man.
So
Yeah, dude.
the spacecraft is Thunder Road. So
Oh, that's
that's
right.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Who is in that went on to become pretty famous? Was it River
Ethan
Phoenix?
Ethan Hawke, River Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
hmm
my gosh. That's
Yeah.
so funny. That's aging both of us right there.
Man, that's one of my favorite movies. I've seen that movie 1,000 times.
Oh, it's so cool, man. Yeah, dude, that movie definitely gave me the stoke to get out and I don't know, not only like build stuff, but also try and have these big adventures and stuff. Oh man, that's super
Right,
funny.
for real.
I love
Yeah.
how movies can do that. Like I've always been sort of inspired by different films, and I know that when I'm kind of in any sort of rut, I have like 5 or 6 movies that I'll be like, dude, I just need to watch that movie, and then I'll
Yeah.
be in the gym in 10 minutes, or I'll be
Yeah.
working on this or doing that, and so I think there's some credence in movies' ability to kind of inspire and get people. It's funny because you have to sit on the couch to watch the movie, but it seems to
Uh-huh.
get you off the couch when it's finished.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, White Squall was another. That's probably one of my favorite sailing movies. I don't know if you've seen White
Oh
Squall.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
dude. That one's and that one I thought that was a pretty realistic movie as far as the actual sailing that vessel does, the amount of work that they do on the
hmm
boat. Granted, the actual White Squall coming in, I don't know how realistic that would be, but yeah, definitely a good one because there's a lot of bad ones out there.
Right.
as far as the sailing genre goes, where I think to myself, who did they have as like an expert on set being like, oh yeah,
Right.
that's about right. That's about right.
So there's I'm sure you know the movie Waterworld with Kevin
Oh yeah,
Costner.
freaking love
Um,
that.
Dude, that's one of I love that movie too. I can't think of the YouTube channel. I can't think of the name, but they just put out like a 30-minute long video where it's nothing but talking about the atoll and the Mariner's Trimaran. It's such
Yeah.
a great video. Man,
Oh
I
man,
mean,
I'll have
he
to take
goes
a look
in.
for that.
Yeah, he goes into all the just little details and cool little what you call it. I can't think off the top of my head, but yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's
Well,
awesome.
I always thought like because that one captured me just in the opening sort of sequence where he's chasing down the boat that the guy stole the limes, and then he's just trying to
Mm-hmm.
outrun the smokers, and he just powers that boat up because that's a real trimaran. Like that's part of the reason the budget on that film was insane is they were
Mm-hmm.
actually using a full on. I don't know exactly what type of trimaran that was, but it was, or what's that, catamaran or trimaran? I
It was
can't
a
remember.
trimaran.
It's a trimaran, yeah, but it was like a
Mm-hmm.
real boat because those things are like, you power those things up, and all of a sudden you're doing like 30 knots. It's just unbelievable. One
That's
day I'm
crazy.
gonna get to ride on something like that. That should be
Yeah,
pretty
right.
cool. Well, one of the other really cool aspects of that video and that adventure that year that you did it. Have you always done it with your brother?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Every year I've done it with my brother.
Nice,
Uh,
dude. Well, one, I love how he's always doing that.
yeah, it's like a little inside thing between us. A little
You
John
can't see
Cena.
me.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. Well, my younger brother Adam and I, we've in our earlier days, we did some yacht deliveries, from Florida down to the Caribbean and the Caribbean up to like New York and Bermuda and stuff, and on good boats and on bad boats and in good weather and bad weather. And there's something about brothers getting together and taking on the world that I don't know. I definitely resonated with me when I was watching your video, dude.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we don't get to see a lot of each other anymore. So I live in kind of North Texas in the DFW area, and
Mm-hmm.
he lives in the Austin area. So
Oh,
we're
okay.
about 4 hours, a 4 hours drive from each other. So we don't see each other too often, but this has become like our annual get together now at this point.
Nice.
So it's a nice bonding trip for me and my brother.
Oh yeah, dude. No, that's how. I mean, and anytime you're stuck, especially on a boat that small,
Uh
you get the full on experience, so that when you are finished with it, you're like, all right, I think we can take a pause here for a while.
huh. Yeah. Yeah, and there's
Wow,
you
that
know there's things that happen along the way that kind of bring you closer too when you have both experienced getting struck by lightning.
yeah, dude. No, for sure. I mean that is such a heavy thing to have happen, and it's such a quick thing. I don't know what would be worse, like the slow burn of like, a great white shark taking apart your boat and then you end up like in a life raft, or you get
Hmm.
struck by lightning and it dissolves your boat and catches it on fire in like a
Right.
millisecond. I don't know, man. That both those sound like absolute nightmares to me. But usually, though, in my own experience, it's just me out there, so I don't have that camaraderie of being able
Hmm.
to be like, "Holy cow, man, this is crazy. What are we gonna do?" And so
Yeah.
that's kind of an interesting aspect. I mean, he and I have been in some sticky situations. We were on a catamaran that had no business going where we were trying to take it, and it was sort of falling apart around us. And when we got to the stretch of water between like Turks and Caicos and the U.S. Virgin Islands, it started blowing pretty hard and got pretty intense. And there were definitely some times where we thought, man, we might not make it through this one. And that feeling is I don't know. It was definitely shared when we
Yeah.
got to talking about what happened and all that. Holy smokes! And the footage too of that squall coming in as soon as you're panning around.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh, dude, that doesn't look that looks bad because you've also
Yeah.
got land all around you. You know, I have the benefit of having usually a couple hundred sea miles to run in any direction I want, and I have to worry about that. So you've got like
Mm-hmm.
extra things you got to think about.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's something I kind of wanted to like hopefully talk about here today too. Is just the different challenges that are brought with the 200 um, compared to doing like offshore sailing or something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, where
You
where
know,
does it kick off, and what's the usual like time frame of the race?
so we usually start it in Port Mansfield or Port Isabel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that whole stretch of water there, it's called the Laguna Madre. The Laguna Madre will kind of go all the way up to about Corpus Christi Bay, I'd say.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, down there in South Texas, and each day is about anywhere from 25 nautical miles to 50 nautical miles sail.
Okay.
There's about 6 camps along the way, and
Nice.
we start in South Texas at Port Mansfield, and then end at Magnolia Beach, which is about 200 miles from Port
Gotcha.
Mansfield.
And
But
is there's intracoastal that whole route, right?
yeah, yeah, it is. It's all
Okay. Okay.
intercoastal. Yeah.
Gotcha.
There are sections where you can kind of get off of the, we call it the ditch. We refer to the ICW as the ditch.
Ditch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that
Um,
before.
yeah, you can veer, you can get out of the ditch and go through like some cool little like passes, like remote passes that a lot of people don't like get to really experience a whole lot. You can kind of get out into the bays. Um, but the thing is, to get out into those really remote spots, to get off of the ICW, you have to have a
Mhm.
really shallow draft boat.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna say, and that the O'Day is the centerboard boat, isn't it?
uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so with the board down, I'm looking at about 4.5 feet draft. And
Hmm.
then with it up, with all the weight, extra weight that we're carrying, I'm probably at like a foot of the draft with the board all
Oh,
the way up.
nice, dude. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah. That allows you to get into some of those really, really special places that, a boat like
Mm-hmm.
mine, we couldn't even dream about going.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's guys out there that'll be on like, oh, what are they called? Um, I
Like
can't think of the name
fan
of the
boats in
boat.
Florida or anything? Because it's
Yeah,
all sailboats, right?
uh-huh. Yeah, it's all
Okay.
sailboats. Well, we did have one guy this year. He did it in a John boat
Oh,
with a
really?
yeah with a 4-stroke outboard. It's
Oh,
pretty
man.
cool.
How long did that take him?
Oh man, he did it the same amount of time as we
Oh,
did. I mean,
really?
he
Just
made
nailed it.
each camp about like an hour before everybody else. So
Oh,
he
jeez.
was always the first one at camp.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotcha.
But yeah, a lot of these guys they'll have like little 14 footers, little 14-foot boats with like a 6-inch draft. And these
Oh, wow.
guys will actually, if they start if they run aground, they'll just hop out of the boat and just start dragging it and just pull it through,
Just
whatever,
pulled through.
Yeah.
Why not though? I mean, that's the beauty of it.
Hmm.
If you could do that, then because I'm assuming that whole area has just got to be riddled with all sorts of like spider web, like inlets and little river
Hmm.
crossings and cuts. Because I know
Yeah.
up in the Carolinas where I'd spend a decent amount of time, off of these rivers and stuff. It's like a maze, and you can get into all the stuff if you've got that super shallow draft.
Right, right. Yeah, you got the super shallow draft. Um, you're not carrying a motor with you. A lot of these guys do it without an outboard motor, which is just that's crazy to me to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
out
yeah.
there and not even have an outboard. I mean, last year the like the last 2 days there wasn't hardly any wind at all. I mean, it was probably like 5 knots of wind,
Yeah.
and so the guys that were out there without outboards
Just
they're stuck.
sitting.
Yeah, they're just sitting. Or they're tacking 100,000 times, or they're paddling. See, on Thunder Road, I've got a 10 horsepower Honda,
Yeah, the Honda
That
100, right?
yeah, that thing will just push me through wherever.
What year is that? Because that looked pretty vintage, man.
It's a 86.
Nice. Two
Yeah,
stroke then, I would assume.
it's a four
Louder.
stroke.
Oh, it's a four stroke.
Yeah, it's a
Oh
four
wow.
stroke. Yeah, yeah,
Nice, nice.
yeah.
And
The
how fast will that push the boat? Like top speed.
I've almost when I first tested it, I didn't have the mast on it or anything. It was just the boat, no
Hmm.
sails or nothing. And it got the boat up on plane.
Oh,
Uh,
like a
yeah,
McGregor almost or something. You
yeah,
seen those
yeah.
boats?
Uh-huh. Yeah, those are pretty cool. But with the mast, sails, everything, probably like 8 knots, like 6.5 knots, like
Oh,
top
that's not
speed.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, still pretty quick. Yeah.
That's it. Then the only concern, like if you had to do like a big run, then it'd just be fuel, essentially, of like how much
Mm-hmm.
fuel because that thing's got to eat through it at full throttle,
Oh yeah.
I would think. But
Yeah, I mean, I bring the gas tank I have is 5 gallons, and then I bring another 5 gallons
okay,
just
okay.
for spare gas. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, very cool, man. And I don't know. I think that's kind of a neat little aspect of the race is that you can motor. I keep calling it a race, but yeah, you can motor, you can sail. It's all about basically the experience you have between the start and the finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And a big part of the experience is making it to camp and getting to make friends with everybody that's there. I mean, they're all like-minded sailors. Um,
Yeah.
we all have a lot in common out there, and it's interesting that the first year I did it, I was very, shy, standoffish, not, doing a whole lot of socializing or anything like that.
Hmm.
Really just trying to take it in, trying to figure it all out. But
Yeah. Not look like a moron.
right, right, yeah, exactly. But now this year it's my fourth one. I've made a bunch of friends, a bunch of acquaintances, and I just love going out there and just saying hi to everybody, seeing everyone, and it's all about the hang.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and now that you're sort of old hat at doing this, you got to keep an eye out for the guy off on the side in the corner who is, reminds you of you in your first
Uh
one, and
huh.
make sure you
Yeah.
get out there and give him a little boost because it is. It's kind of funny that you say that because one of the interesting parts about doing like the Appalachian Trail is that in the very beginning, everybody's like that. They're all kind of standoffish. They're,
Hmm.
quiet. People are trying not to essentially look like morons because we all just decided to go and do this big challenge, even though we're all dealing with the same elements and everything and camping in the beginning. Yeah, it's kind of like, I'm just going to kind of quietly eat my meal and go to bed. But then after a couple of weeks on trail, everybody's personalities come out. And that's when you
Yeah.
really start having a lot of fun.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting how that stuff kind of plays out because you do see that in other people, and you just
Yeah.
want to take them under your wing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I don't know. It is kind of interesting how I know quite a few people who are so gregarious in any sort of situation. It doesn't matter, like, if they've never done it before, if they're totally intimidated. I know some people that's their like nervous thing is that they just start talking and they start cracking jokes. And I've always admired
Mm.
that about some people, how they can just. My buddy Murph up there in Maine, he could walk up to a crowd of 20 people he's never met in his life, and he can't even get him to stop talking. It's crazy. I've never understood that. I usually kind of err on the side of caution on that, and usually go into things, kind of eyes looking around, but
Hmm.
not spouting off and all that. I was always told a long time ago, let your actions do the talking for you, at least in the beginning.
For
So,
sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it kind of brings like a little added pressure to doing the YouTube and everything. So I've done a YouTube video for every 200 I've done.
oh, you
Um,
have? Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, so even the first 200 I did, editing and putting the video out, it's just kind of in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
saying the right stuff. I don't know if I'm showing the right stuff, but this was my experience and my takeaway. So this is what you get.
Oh, cool, dude. I didn't realize that there was that back catalog. I'm gonna be able to dive into some of those as well. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
was this last one though? Was that the most well, I don't want to say the most epic, but I guess as far as like the storyline goes, was it the one that had the most inclement weather and freaking the
For
lightning
sure.
strike and all that sort of stuff? Okay. Had the
Yeah, for
most
sure.
drama in it, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Last year, we got hit with a storm. We were in about like 45 knot winds for about like a
Oof.
half hour to an hour or so.
Yeah.
Um, but that wasn't too bad. We just dropped the sails, fired up motor, and just kind of motor through it and just wait for it to pass through, and then
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
good to go.
Well, and I suppose, I mean, as long as you're not getting swept out to sea and you're getting
Hmm.
blown into, I mean, isn't most of the land area, is it going to be sort of like swampy reeds and all that sort of stuff, or is it just abrupt like on the rocky shoreline, or is it a mix?
It's a mix. Yeah, it varies. It can be real rocky and dangerous, and you don't want to,
Go anywhere near
yeah,
it?
you don't
Yeah.
want to go near there. Some spots are real sandy and nice. Some spots are just real muddy and nasty. But yeah, you don't. I always my biggest concern when I'm out there is veering off of the channel because
Hmm.
you have I don't know, maybe 30, 40 feet wide of an area. It's a pretty narrow section that you have to stay within.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you veer off of the channel in those bays, the water can go from 10 feet deep to 2.5 feet, like real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can, guys are always breaking rudders, breaking center boards, just because they're running aground all the time. So you gotta be real careful out there. You can't, there's no heave to in a storm out there.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, it's interesting that that coincides a lot with. I don't know if you're familiar with Sailor James, but he's got a pretty popular YouTube channel. He's over in Indonesia.
Selling Tritea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's the one.
Hmm.
And he was telling me a lot about being over in that area in Indonesia and during the wet season, and just there are these catastrophic squalls that roll in, and it's like whiteout rain. It's blowing 30, 40 knots, and you're in this channel, and there's fishing rigs and boats and all this stuff
Hmm.
everywhere. And he's like describing this, and I'm just thinking to myself, oh my God, that sounds like the worst thing in the world. I mean, I'm out there in the middle of an ocean, and I know that's a different kind of worry for people,
Hmm.
but having that sea room again is just such a wonderful thing because it allows you to just work the boat and do whatever you want to do, as opposed to like you're saying, being stuck in this one thing that you can't just run off. You gotta like man up and get into it and just go.
Yeah.
If you got to go into it, you got to go into it.
Yeah, there's no autopilots. You can't use an autopilot.
Oh, okay,
So if
nice.
you're single handing, you're stuck at that tiller from the moment you shove off until you get to camp.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that's another challenge right there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why I always bring my brother and have crew with me. Because man, that trade off, he'll spend an hour on the tiller, and then I'll spend an hour on the tiller, and then we trade
Yeah.
off. Take a break. But those guys that single hand, and don't have motors, I mean, that's another level.
the
It's just a different level.
the purist right there. Well, do they
Yeah.
have like different divisions? I mean, are there? I know it's not a race, but are there like, I don't know? Is there some sequence of like prizes or who gets first or any of that sort of stuff, or is it all just about
No.
the experience?
Yeah, there's nothing like that. It's more just all about the experience. And
Okay, okay.
for me, I've done it. I'm starting to do it enough times now where I am looking at those challenges, those future challenges. So like next year, I want to do it again. And my brother already told me he can't. He's already got prior arrangements to do something else.
Ah.
So next year might be the year that I try to do it single handed and do it by myself.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is, that's a big different change from having somebody and doing it by yourself.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's definitely pros and cons because I don't only solo sail. I definitely get out there with a lot of people and do sailing on other people's boats and stuff.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I've always found there's good and bad, and usually when I've done one, whether it's solo or double handed, then by the time that one's finished, I want to switch right back over to the other one, and then I'll do that one, and then I'll be like, yeah, I like mixing it up like that. To tell you the
Hmm.
truth, it's kind of nice rather
Yeah.
than just always doing the exact same thing over and over again. But that must be kind of a bummer though, not to have your bro on there.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed out when he told me, but at the same time, I have been looking to the future and have
Right,
been
right.
wanting I've been wanting to do the 200 by myself now, more and more. Just the urge to want to do it by myself and just take on that challenge.
Well, what
Um,
do you think will be the most difficult part about switching up like that?
um, it'll be having to not take a break from the tiller.
Tiller,
Just
yeah.
being stuck on that tiller the whole time.
And you
Um,
can't even tie a line around it.
I mean, you can. I have a tiller tamer where it'll hold the tiller. The boat will go straight for a few seconds. Um, it gives you a few seconds to kind of let your hands go and do what you got to do. But it's
Yeah, yeah.
you're looking at like 5-10 seconds at the most, and
Oh,
you
dude,
get
man.
back there and straighten out because you're veering off the channel and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, dude,
uh,
I can remember the first like 6 months that I had Sparrow and was trying to just get it all sorted and dialed in. I have the Aries wind vane on the back, but I didn't have any sort of like tiller pilot or anything like that. So when I was going and training up in between the Caribbean islands, there's plenty times I got becalmed and I'm motoring and I'm just stuck on the tiller for like 6-8 hours at a time.
oh
And I
wow.
can't, I tried so many things, excuse me, to get that boat to hold that straight course. And it just couldn't do it for more than, like you're saying, a few seconds. But
Hmm.
then flash forward, I was on this other West Sail, beautiful boat, and its rudder, everything is super dialed in. Same case where they don't have a tiller pilot for motoring, and we were out, going around between Florida and Bermuda, and man, like that boat, I was able to tie a line off, and you just make these little micro adjustments. You get it
Hmm.
to hold for like 30 minutes without
Oh
having to do
wow,
anything, and that felt pretty amazing.
that's cool. I'll do that on the lake sometimes. I guess like my practice sailing. I've got a couple of lakes that are in my area, and
Oh, okay.
so that's when I'm out on the lake, I have the freedom to play around and try different little things. I did like a bungee method. I can't think of what the method's actually called, but you hook up like a bungee cord to the
Hmm.
tiller and to the main sheet. I think maybe I'm not 100% sure,
Well,
but
I
they
know. Yeah, yeah. I've heard of them sailors doing when they run straight downwind, and you have I don't know. It's something like where you're wing on wing, and then you run the sheets back to the tiller, so that if
hmm
one starts going, I've never done that before, but I've definitely heard there are techniques.
yeah.
Usually a lot easier when you're actually sailing. You can balance a boat because I mean, technically, if you get the sails balanced, you can sail a boat without even a rudder, and get it to pretty much hold a course going like upwind or across the wind. It's the downwind section that is nearly impossible. I mean, that's when Sailor James was just doing. He was dragging that drogue and all that sort of stuff. I don't know if you saw that
hmm
video of his trip to
Yeah.
Hawaii. That
hmm
was a really cool technique, and
Yeah.
part of that is he's trying to go pretty much straight downwind, and that's the hardest one to
mm.
hold.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have noticed that when I'm doing more like upwind sailing, it's way easier to keep the boat on course than downwind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Way
Hmm.
less squirrely for sure. But
Hmm.
that's interesting. So you're gonna go, you do the solo trip. What other? I guess I mean, as far as like if you don't get to these set campsites, are there like, I mean, during nighttime, I would expect it to get far more challenging and far more dangerous. How much traffic is going on while you're trying to do this?
It depends on where you are in it. Like if you're up kind of, I would say like day two or day three, like kind of in the
Hmm.
midsection by like the Corpus Christi area. It
Oh yeah,
gets
yeah,
really crowded there. A lot of shipping barges and a lot of just fishing boats coming and going through there.
yeah,
Um, yeah, the barges are uh, kind of the most dangerous obstacle I would say out there.
yeah.
Um,
Because they can't maneuver.
yeah,
You've
they
just got to
can't.
stay out of their way,
Yeah, you just got to stay. Yeah, just stay out of their way.
and they
Um,
take up a huge amount of that channel. I'm sure.
yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So my first year doing it, we were in Baffin Bay, and Baffin Bay is notorious for being or having a rocky bottom.
Hmm.
And there was a huge barge coming. They were taking up almost, they were hogging up the ICW. So you veer off as far as you can, and we were passing him. And I don't know if we got off the ICW or if maybe he was dragging something, but my centerboard, we hit something, and the centerboard, luckily it swings back,
Oh,
but
okay,
we
yeah.
we hit something, and when it came back down, so my centerboard it's about 160 pounds of just like cast iron steel,
Okay.
and so that thing came swinging back down, and
Oh,
it busted the
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 housing and
cable.
everything.
Yeah, the
Oh, the
cable,
cable.
the cable. Yeah, to pull it up. So we're out there in the middle of the bay, and I've got this huge centerboard hanging down that I can't retract back up, and we can't if we try to veer off the channel, we're going to run
Yeah.
aground.
Right.
So
Right.
I had to figure out a spot. I had to pull out the navionics and find like a little cut that we could veer off to and tie up to like someone's private dock and do a little repair job.
What'd you
But
end up doing? Just diving underneath it and like
mhm. Yeah,
redoing the
I had
swages
a
and stuff.
yeah. So the cable, it was a steel cable, so I couldn't like tie it back on. So
Right.
what I did is I had some spare Dyneema,
There
and
you
I
go.
used
Nice.
Dyneema line. Yeah, I just jumped in the bottom, tied it to the bottom, and then ran it through the centerboard housing, and
Yeah.
then we just put like tied a little handle to it, so we could just like pull it up, pull it back down, and then anytime we pull it up to pull the centerboard up, we would just hook it on like a cleat on deck or something
Yeah.
that
Right.
would hold it
Hey,
up.
whatever works,
Yeah,
man. That's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Do
yeah.
you usually
Whatever gets you to the finish line.
exactly? Because you can. I mean, do you do a lot of modifications and work on the boat in the off season for it, or is the boat pretty much always getting used year round?
Yeah, yeah. So this off season, I actually replaced the whole centerboard.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, it had the original one in it, and it was all beat up and rusted, and
Yeah.
um, so actually, what I did is I went and bought a whole another O'Day Mariner, a 1986 model,
Oh,
and
just like cannibalized it.
yeah, it like a parts boat. And then I just took it all apart. I stole a bunch of parts from it, stole a bunch of blocks and cleats, and the centerboard on that boat was like perfect. So I stole
Yeah.
the centerboard off that thing and put it in
Oh,
Thunder
nice.
Road. Yeah.
God, that'd be nice. I'd love to do that with a West Sail. I'm sure. I'm sure though I wouldn't be able to get one for pennies on the dollar quite like that. And if I did, it'd be in such bad shape I probably wouldn't want to replace any of my stuff with it.
Man, that's one of the great things about these like little cheap pocket yacht trailer sailors. They're not expensive,
Yeah.
so
There's a ton of them out there
yeah,
too.
there's a ton of them. Yeah, just parts are it's weird that I can buy a boat that has every single part that I need for under $1,000, but if I
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
replace the mast or something, a brand new mast for my boat is like $2,000 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, it's gonna cost more than the boat's
Yeah.
worth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of run into some of those issues sometimes where, I mean, a West Sail, typically West Sail sells for, maybe right around like 30 grand for like its median price.
Oh,
The
okay.
nice ones are usually like 60, and the ones that are more of a project are going to be in like the 10, $15,000 range. And, you go and get just a new set of sails and you're going to spend 10 grand and you're like, holy
Mm-hmm.
cow, like that's a big chunk of this boat. And then you want to replace the engine, and pretty soon you're just like, dude, I should just buy a new boat, I
Yeah,
guess.
right.
But I don't know. You get so acquainted with, and I mean, I'm so attached to Sparrow that I don't even know. Like I don't know. I plan on either, passing it on to somebody who wants to go out and have some big time adventures, or I picture, the boat hauled out next to my home as I'm like an old man trying to like, fix it all up for no other reason than just have something to do and,
Right. Yeah.
be able to still like climb the ladder and just sleep on it every once in a while, that sort of thing.
Yeah. 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 You do. I mean, yeah, you work on something long enough, you just start falling in love with it,
I
you
know
know?
it just
Yeah.
becomes part of you, man. It
Mm-hmm.
absolutely does. And it doesn't take that long, and it doesn't take that many projects before you feel like you're really like one with that boat, and
Right.
it takes on that sort of life of its own. And I don't know, it's got a personality, and sometimes you love it, sometimes you hate it. But those are common emotions.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. My
So
wife, my
sorry, go
wife,
ahead, go ahead.
my wife will give me a hard time about calling boats or referring to boats as females,
Oh,
and
what?
yeah, that's exactly what I'm like. Like, no, no, you don't get it. You don't
Yeah.
get it. We love it. Like, we appreciate it. Like,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
to
it's a thing
quote
of beauty.
another sailing movie, a John Candy 80s movie, Summer Rental, where he goes
Oh,
in
okay.
and he takes sailing lessons from this like patch-eyed piratey type guy. And one of the lines that I always loved, he's got some weird accent, I don't know, but he's like, we name our boats after ladies to remind us to treat them gently. And I was like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah,
true. I like that.
yeah.
But mine was actually named after a dude first, and actually, I guess in some respects, it's kind of half and half, named after Mighty Sparrow, who's a calypso singer, or who was a calypso singer. I think he's passed on now, but so I might just have to eat my words on that one. Oh well, what can I do?
Yeah.
All right, so
Uh,
as we're already, I can't believe we're already at like 45 minutes almost.
oh wow.
I know it goes by so freaking fast. Can you set up the day of the squall and the lightning? And then I got some questions about that
Oh
lightning.
man. Okay. All right. So we were leaving Camp 4, this spot called Paul's Moat, and that morning, I mean, the wind was howling. It was
Yeah.
like it was gusty, like 30 knot gusts, 35 knot gusts. It was crazy. So we were kind of hanging out, and it was raining a little bit off and on, but we were kind of hanging out, just kind of waiting to see if things would kind of settle down and pass a little bit, and it did a little. But so my brother and I set out. Um, we we get across. We had to get across the first bay, which is Aransas Bay, and then we get back into the land cut into the ICW.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, the the squalls are coming in. The wind is kind of just doing circles around us. Every 5 minutes the wind direction's changing. So the sails are down. We're motoring, and we've been motoring for about an hour or so.
And
And
is that the big cut that you have to get apart across? Like
no, this
that
is
that.
still a real narrow part of the
Oh, okay,
channel. Yeah,
okay.
there's like land on the side of us. Um, but we're leaving that and getting into San Antonio Bay, which is like the big Bay
The
area.
big one. Yeah.
Hmm. And we were headed in there, and there was a boat in front of us that actually turned around and went back to the land
Oh,
because
really?
it was getting, I mean, it was getting crazy, like out on the horizon. And I I I made it like a last minute call. I was like, I looked at my brother and I was like, hey, let's turn around and wait this one out. Like, I just don't feel good about this.
Ooh,
So that's what we
okay.
did. So we were gonna go into San Antonio Bay, but we turned around and we took refuge behind one of those barges. It's like those huge barges, and they were actually pushed up on the shore, taking refuge as well. So
Okay.
even these huge shipping barges are taking refuge. They're not going out to the bays. But so we waited there about an hour. We just kind of waited out, maybe an hour and a half or so. And it started to clear up. You could see blue skies. The sun was kind of coming out a little bit, but always off in the distance, there's, darkness, dark clouds out there.
Yeah.
But this is like the last bay we got to get across because it's day 4, so it's like the last major body of water we have to get across. So I went ahead and made the decision as captain to just, all right, this is our opportunity, this is our opening to get across. Let's just go for it. We're not, and we're not going to sail. I'm not going to raise the sails. We're just going to motor. We'll
Mhm.
just take it easy and just motor across. It'll be fine. And we started heading out there, and right about that time is when when I pan the camera and you
Yeah,
see
dude.
that huge cell right there. Yeah, I
Yep.
saw that, and it was like, oh man.
What
Hopefully,
did I do?
yeah, yeah. It's like, man, hopefully this thing is. I thought it was just gonna pass behind us and just keep rolling through,
Yeah.
but you can actually go and look on like a lightning history map online,
Uh-huh.
and you can see how the storm, it was moving out of the way. It was going to pass us, but then it just decided to change directions, and then it just came right over on top of us. And
Curious about that little boat that's out there all
yeah, right.
alone.
Yeah. And yeah, so that thing started to come over the top of us. The rain just came, I mean, thick rain. Like the rain was just huge. It was like huge, heavy rain coming down. It was wall to wall. You couldn't see anything. You couldn't see the markers in the channel. So I'm just navigating off of Navionics on my phone
Uh-huh.
to stay in the channel. And there was a huge lightning strike that struck like maybe 10, 20 feet behind us. And
Ugh.
it scared the crap out of us. I mean, there was no delay in the sound. And when you saw it, it was just boom, like right there.
And there's nowhere to run at this point.
Yeah, no,
You're
I mean,
just in it, dude.
we're just in it. We're motoring, and
Ah.
like that lightning strikes, and then me and my brother look at each other like, ah, crap, man, this is
I
not
could
good.
I honestly like I know that feeling. I don't know what it's like to look at somebody else and be like, "Oh man, here we go." But I know what it's like to be looking around at Mother Nature when she's just lashing out at you,
Hmm.
and you're just stuck. There's nothing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just have to keep pushing forward. Oh my gosh.
yeah, because we're already too far in. We can't turn around and go back,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to turn around into that darkness that was behind us. So
No, no. Always try and run away from it. That's
yeah,
what I say.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, and at one point we like looked at each other, and my brother was like, "Dude, we gotta like, you need to hit the gas, and we gotta go. We gotta get out of
Yeah.
here." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're
Right.
right." And then just going at full speed, and full speed's like 7 knots. But yeah, man, it was like 10 minutes after that first one hit behind us,
Yeah.
just out of nowhere, just boom, right onto it hit right on top of the mast.
Yeah.
It came down the starboard shroud and then blew out like the side of the railing there.
Well, and from your perspective, you said in that video, like you didn't even know you really got hit. It just was like a light, like it was super bright, right?
Yeah, it was. I thought lightning had hit, 5 or 10 feet in front of the boat, because
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for it. Obviously, it just happened, and so yeah, I kind of saw a flash, and just felt the impact. Um, my brother, he got zapped in the foot. He felt like a little
Yeah.
jolt in his foot. He was like in between the cabin and cockpit area, bailing water with a. I've got like a little manual bilge pump,
Uh-huh.
and from all the rain coming in, so he was like bilging the water whenever he got shocked. And
What superpower did he get?
right, that's what a lot of people are asking. Like, does he have any superpowers? Like, no, just being more fearful of lightning, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, right. More cautious. Super
Yeah,
cautious.
yeah, super cautious. Yeah. But yeah, and I don't know if I got zapped or not. The force of it was just so intense. I mean, it was like a huge cannon had been
Yeah.
fired like right there. It was so loud, and you just felt it like in your body, in your chest.
Well,
It
it's
was
so crazy.
crazy.
You're like on deck. I mean, that's usually my go-to on Sparrow when I have to go through lightning and it's pretty severe and like bolts are kind of hitting the sea. I'm typically like I'm gonna go down below and wait this out. Um,
Hmm.
but I don't know. It's one of those where I'm like I don't know if it's going to be any better to be down here or be up there or what. I mean, there's propane on the boat, there's diesel fuel, all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. So I don't know. I mean, but it's interesting that you're sitting in the cockpit and obviously, you get the mast, you get the side stays, the back stay. So you're surrounded by these wires.
Hmm.
And obviously this electricity is traveling all through that, but you didn't get blown off of the boat or anything like that. So that's kind of good to know.
Yeah, yeah, thankfully. Yeah, and right there, right by underneath the tiller is where I keep the extra gas for the outboard and my
Oh
gas
yeah,
tank. So
gasoline.
the gas is all right there. Yeah, I mean I'm sitting right next to it.
Holy
Um,
smokes.
so
Okay.
yeah, I didn't think about that till after the fact. I was like, man, like,
Yeah.
jeez, like so many things could
Oh, the
have
what
gone
ifs.
wrong. Yeah, so many what ifs.
Ay, ay,
Man,
ay. But then you start seeing smoke, right?
yeah, yeah. We start. Smoke is coming from the little housing where I keep my battery. I just have a
Hmm.
little 100 amp lead acid battery. Um, Smoke's coming from there, and I found out what it was. It was some of the wires were burnt.
Yeah.
Some of the fuses behind my switchboard had like blowing out, and a lot of that rubber was starting to burn.
Well, because
Um,
the electronics on this boat, I'm assuming it's like nav lights, probably
mhm.
bilge pump. What other stuff do you have on there that's powered by that battery?
Not a lot. I mostly use it for charging the phones, like a Bluetooth speaker.
Okay. Okay.
I've got like a DC inverter that I have plugged into it. But
Okay.
yeah, like
Okay.
it's like nav lights, cockpit lights, and like cabin lights and things like that.
And the engine, that's all standalone, its own little unit. It's not an
Hmm.
electric start or anything, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
So that survived, or did it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it
It
did.
did.
It
It
did.
did
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
survive.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. And surprisingly, my battery survived. I,
Really?
yeah, yeah, the battery's still good. It's still got a good 12.8 volts in there.
Still holding a good charge.
Yeah,
Well, what about your solar panel? Didn't though? Did it?
yeah, no, the solar's gone. My VHF radio, I had like a 25-watt Uniden radio on there. That got fried.
Roasted.
Yeah, all the lights blew. A lot of the switches on the switch panel, those blew. One of the switches like just completely blew out.
Oh,
Um,
really? I've
yeah,
heard of boats where the through hulls blow out through the bottom of the
yeah,
hull and the boat
I hear that
sinks.
too. Yeah.
So I don't know what causes that, but I mean, is the boat grounded in any way?
No, no. And
There
I've
isn't.
been getting questions on people asking, like, could you take like uh like jumper cables and attach jumper cables to like one of your stays or something and just like let it drag in the water. Would that maybe help,
Yeah.
or run like a copper line up the mast or something, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because I know my boat has like a little lightning rod type thing up top with a big gauge wire that goes all the way down the mast, and then that
Mhm.
links into a plate that's underneath the boat. But I mean, if Back to the Future is correct, dude, you're talking about 1.21 gigawatts of
Yeah.
electricity instantly
Yeah.
hitting your rig. I
Yeah,
don't know, man. It's
man.
golly, it's just such an insane amount of electricity just zapping
Yeah, it's an
everything. Like,
insane amount of power just all at
yeah,
once.
right
Yeah.
out of, oh my gosh.
I mean, so like it's wild to think that it's so much electric power that it blows chunks of the boat off, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's
Because
crazy.
so you got the smoke, but there wasn't any flames. Nothing was catching on fire.
Yeah, no, I didn't see any flames or nothing. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And it didn't, did it? Because I think, did you mention that it like blew out something near your chain plate, or did it do any other
Yeah,
physical damage?
it delaminated some of the fiberglass on the chain plate.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, where the spot
Interesting.
where the stays or the shrouds connect to the chain plate.
Uh
There's
huh.
some fiberglass damage around there that I'll have to repair. A lot of it's cracked, and
Oh,
but
okay,
it's
okay.
it's nothing unrepairable.
Gotcha. I wonder. I
Yeah.
wonder if that's from like the electricity, or like when the bolt hit the mast like got physically pushed one way or another, so it threw a huge amount of stress on the shroud,
Hmm.
which maybe did a little bit of that. Is it like crazing or cracking? Like, is it the gel coat, or do you think it's all the way into the fiberglass?
Well, I can see it's more than just the gel coat. I can see
Oh,
where
okay.
like fiberglass fiber, like the
Oh,
like
the actual
actual
fibers. Yeah.
fibers, like, yeah, came off. Yeah, where it's
Holy
like
cow.
peeling off. Yeah.
Ah, you are not making a good case for me coming down to do the old Texas 200. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
much.
right.
No, actually, that when you first told me about it, I was like, "Oh my god, that sounds like a blast, dude."
Oh man, it's so much fun. Yeah, I think not to brag, but I think I'm the first Texas 200 contestant to be struck by lightning.
Wow,
uh,
congratulations! There's your
so
prize right
yeah,
there,
right.
pal.
I got some bragging rights.
Okay, so you push on through. Is there still? I mean, at that point, so now you still have navionics on your phone,
Hmm.
but outside of that, what do you just have a compass, basically, right?
Yeah, and I don't even have a compass currently right now. I took it off a while back, but yeah, I don't
Ah,
even have a compass. Yeah, just straight navigating right from the phone. And
gotcha.
uh, and if the phone had gone out, what I would have done is I would have thrown out an anchor, and we would have
Hmm.
just anchored and just let the storm pass.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's probably what we would have done if that was the case. But
Well,
since you
let
know,
me just make a case for, the old-timey sailing stuff, having that compass and having that paper chart. And yeah, and even it doesn't have to be like an actual like physical compass that's bolted into the boat. You can just get
mhm,
one of those little hand bearing compasses, and get in that situation again, heaven
mhm.
forbid, you'd then be able to at least set your heading and check on the chart, because unless the chart physically gets struck by lightning, it ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I need to
You don't
freshen
sound
up.
very convinced though.
Yeah. I was
That's all
gonna
right.
say I need to freshen up on my navigation skills. I saw a video that you put out a few months ago where you were kind of giving a tour of your boat, and you had a sextant. You were like, "Yeah, I'm using the sextant on this
Yeah,
trip."
yeah, yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that's really
I like,
cool.
well, it's one of those where I was gifted a really nice, it's got to be like 90-year-old sextant that was made in Tokyo, Japan,
Oh wow.
and it's really dialed in. And I use that in certain sections on the trip around the world. and then I didn't use it for a while, and I was kind of like, dude, I don't want to forget this, So anytime I go out now, I always try and do at least the noon sites and stuff, just to make sure I still have the skill set, because I mean, that is one of the things that, in a rare occasion that you lose all electricity capabilities on the boat and all that sort of stuff, then if you are in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, it really does come in handy to be able to function and navigate with just using basically a book, the stars, and a chart. And that it definitely comes in handy. And I mean, 2022, when I got turned over, I lost my solar panels, and I didn't have a backup. And luckily, the engine still worked, but I was slowly eating through my fuel supply, and eventually would have gotten to a point where I couldn't generate any electricity anymore. So, had I
Wow.
been further out, or had it, taken me longer to repair things, I would have been in that situation of like, well, we're back in the 1800s. Here we go.
Wow. Man, that's crazy. That's wild. Yeah, at least on the 200, you never veer off too far from land.
Yeah,
And
right, right, right.
you've got those, those visual markers.
Exactly. Well, and so you're gunning it, trying to get in there, and then how long did it take before things sort of cleared up, and then you finally did make it in?
Um, we got struck, and then probably another 30 minutes of motoring through the bay, and then getting in back into the ICW, into the land cut.
Uh huh.
And then the weather kind of started to let up a little bit at that point. But that last 30 minutes going through that bay, I mean, it was hectic, man. I mean, I thought for sure we were going to get hit by lightning again.
Really?
Yeah, I thought, man, there's no way we're not going to get hit again. Like, we're the only freaking thing out here with a huge, lightning rod sticking up in the air.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we're going to get hit again, And so I was talking to somebody, talking to myself, talking to whoever, I don't know. But
Well,
yeah, I
and
was.
in that case, were you pretty stoked to have your brother? Is he your older brother or younger brother?
He's my older brother. He's 5 years older than I am.
Oh, okay, okay.
Hmm.
But you like, and this is just out of my own thinking here. Like, is were you the one that got him to come and start doing these trips, or was it the other way around?
Sort of. I mean, I'd have to maybe credit his wife to that. So I got the boat, and then started learning about the 200, and
Hmm.
kind of talking about it, and mentioning like, oh, this seems like something like pretty cool, like kind of right up our alley. And we grew up in South Texas, so it's
Oh,
kind of
okay,
like a going home for us in a way.
gotcha.
Yeah, we get to see our parents. We hang out with them for a few days, so it's like a family thing for us.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just thinking from the point of view of like who was looking at the other guy, going, "I can't believe what you get me into. Like, this is
Uh,
unbelievable. It's your fault. What have
yeah,
you
right.
done?"
I mean, I feel kind of bad as the captain for making the judgment call to be like, no, let's go for it. We
Ah,
got
right, right.
this. And then there's other boats around us that are staying put. And in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, maybe we probably should have stayed put as well. But
Yeah, well, hey, you know what though? That whole
what's the
hindsight and the
adventure
the
in
what
staying
ifs.
put?
It's true, but it is. It's like a balancing act. I mean,
Hmm.
I've definitely headed out to sea plenty of times where I know the weather's going to get pretty nasty for first little chunk or something, and though I never put out to sea when it's really rough, I know that I get run over usually within a few days. And man, I'm always looking back, being like, why am I doing this? Like, what if I just keep putting myself through this? And then, you get
Hmm.
through that, you push, make it, and then all of a sudden the whole world is better and you've had this adventure. So I think, like, at least from my own experience, it's well worth the dangers, the troubles, and the fear that comes out of that. as long as you're willing to push through and, you know, not just throw up the white flag. Cause then you get through it. And I don't know, it kind of, it's like a testament to who you think you are, you know, if that makes any
For
sense.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I mean, when I get home, there's so much planning and prepping that goes into this thing, and it's only a week long. But for somebody like me that works, you know, like a normal 9 to 5 job, and I only have so many days of, you know, vacation time or paid time off or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I have to be very selective on the things that I am going to do with my time, with my free time.
Yeah.
And yeah, at the moment you're out there in the middle of the bay, just got struck by lightning, you kind of questioning like, what in the heck am I doing out here? Like, what? This is what I decided to do with my time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then at the end of it and coming home and like, man, I feel like I come home and I just have a better appreciation for just everything, you know, like my wife, my dog, our house, and just life in general, you know, having experienced something kind of, you know, extreme,
Yeah.
traumatic, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
and then being able to make it, you know, seeing it through and making it on the other side. Yeah, we grow from that stuff for sure.
Oh, we definitely do. Well put. I mean, and to add to that, then you got one heck of a story to tell around the campfire,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
become that guy that's
You
like, dude,
become the
did you?
legend.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
So it's well worth going after it, man. That's for sure.
yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you for.
It's all about the adventure, right?
It definitely is, man, and
Uh,
you know, I don't think you can really experience the true joy or the magnitude of joy that you can when you've had to go through a lot of hardship to get to that point. I mean, you know, if you went out sailing and every day was a nice sunny day, it'd get pretty darn boring. It'd be nice, but it wouldn't be really nice. And when we go through those awful, scary, you know, discomfort, like, oh, you know, I don't know if it's 50-50 out at sea for me, but it's close to that where you're going to basically suffer almost as much as you're going to enjoy. And I don't know. I think that's a big part of it. It's a balance. It can't
mhm.
all be good. We need that. We need that bad to make the good really good and even great sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. It's the yin and yang of life, right?
There you go. Wise
Yeah.
words, my friend. Well, thank you so much for not only sharing the story, and obviously I'll put a link in the description for the channel and that video in particular. But yeah, for reaching out in the first place and stuff. This is awesome, dude. I wish I had more time. I actually have to get out of here, but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
this
no,
is
man. When I reached out to you and you messaged me back, I was like so stoked. I was like, awesome! Like this would be really cool. So yeah, I had an awesome time. So thank you.
yeah, no, for sure, man. Well, and so when's the next one?
Next one's going to be in June. Next year in June, and so I'm probably going to do that one single handed. So
Wow.
it's going to be a whole different kind of experience next year.
Yeah. No, for
Yeah,
sure. Well,
a
I got
whole different kind of video too.
yeah, I know. Oh, duh, definitely, dude, man. That's gonna be because it'll be full of like introspection and like how you're feeling and all that sort of stuff. Because
Hmm.
it is. It's hard. It's hard not to kind of get into it because you don't have anybody. You know, the things you would normally maybe not talk about when somebody's sitting right next to you, even if it is your brother.
Hmm.
When you're alone, it sort of allows you to just kind of really talk about how things are going mentally and all that sort of stuff. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what you delve into
Cool. Yeah,
in the
man.
video. Very cool. Well, and I who knows, dude, I got a buddy of mine who I first met on the Appalachian Trail. Bojangles was his trail name, and he came and he sailed one year. I think it was like 2020 or I don't know what it was, 2021 maybe. And he sailed from South Carolina up to Maine, 9 days offshore with me, and he definitely had the adventure for sure. We had a blast. It was a real fast trip, but he's down there. I think in the Houston area
Oh,
He's been in
okay.
Texas forever. Yeah, he does his big adventure that he does all the time is he goes and does these like surf trips to like Patagonia or
Mm.
Alaska. He looks for these like really far flung places, but he's always up for that type of adventure. I might have to plant the seed in him for that one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you may have to try to hook us up, connect us.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
go see if I can find an O'Day on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, for sure, man.
All right, well, Brandon, thank you so much again for reaching out and coming on the show and stuff. And good luck with the repairs. And dude, maybe we'll do another check in along the way and see how things are prepping up for the next adventure.
Dude, I'm down. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And
Pleasure is mine.
good luck to you and the mighty sparrow.
Thank you, thank you. I'll be seeing her in just about 2 weeks or so. We got to take the boat from North Carolina up to Cape Cod, and hopefully we're under a time crunch. So whatever weather gets thrown at me, I just got to kind of deal with it. And we just had a tropical storm pass right south of Cape Fear, but the boat made it through just fine. So should be good.
Right on.
All right,
Cool,
well, take
man.
care. Thank
All
you.
right, take it easy, Jerome. Thanks, man.